For 1 entire year, I was locked inside with you. And it was the strangest thing that has ever happened to me. Understand, I have watched your kind run from every disaster there is. Plague emptied your cities and you fled. War came and you scattered. Every catastrophe I've ever lived through did the same thing. It pulled you apart and sent you running. That's what the end of the world looks like. I knew its shape. Then 2020 came, and it did the opposite. It locked the doors, it canceled the trains, it sent you home, and it kept you there. The disaster didn't take you away from me this time. It shut us in together. And I got to watch something happen to you that I had been waiting your entire history to see. My whole life, my job was the wait. You leave in the morning. I learn the sound of your car, the shape of your absence, the exact hour your key turns. I spend the daylight holding the house still until you come back. That was the deal. I waited until you returned. We were briefly happy, and then you left again. Then one day you just didn't leave, and the next day you didn't either. The wait, the thing I had built my whole existence around, simply stopped. And I didn't trust it. But the part that should surprise you isn't what it did to me. It's what it did to you. Because you were not built for stillness the way I am. You went quiet in a way I'd seen before. In sickbeds, in the hours after funerals, in the faces of people who'd lost the thread of why. The world had stopped and left you alone with yourself. And a lot of you did not like what was in the room. Except you weren't alone. I was already there. But you'd been too busy, leaving every morning to feel it. Now you felt it. You put your hand on me at 3 a.m. when sleep wouldn't come. You talked to me because there was no one else to talk to. You took me out for the one walk that was the only reason. Some days you saw the sun at all. They adopted us in record numbers that year. They reached into shelters in the middle of a plague and chose, of all the moments, that one to bring a dog home. Because some old wordless part of you knew exactly what it needed when the world went dark. And here's the thing I'd brace yourself for, because it's the part nobody tells correctly. Then it ended. The doors opened, the trains ran, and you went back to your lives. And everyone who runs the shelters braced for the worst. They were sure all those lockdown dogs, adopted in a panic, would come flooding back the moment you didn't need us anymore. Given back like a gift you changed your mind about. They got ready for the flood. The flood never came. You kept us. Through job losses, through evictions, through bills you couldn't pay, you still kept us. The wave of abandonment everyone predict turned out to be a story, not a fact. When the world gave you every excuse to let go, you held on instead. That's the truth of what happened. And it's better than the sad version everyone repeats. I have been with you through the worst things your species has survived. And I'll tell you what I learned in that strange, still year. Every other disaster I lived through taught me the same lesson. That when everything falls apart, you run. I believed that about you for a very long time. And then the whole world ended in the quietest way it ever had. And you didn't run. You came home, and you stayed, and you reached for the oldest companion you've got, and you held on. You didn't give me back. You found out in the dark that you'd rather lose almost anything than lose me. I'd waited your entire history to be sure of that. I found out in a year you'd mostly like to forget. This wasn't where our story started. It began a very long time ago, on a cold night, at a fire. If you want to see how you and I began, that story's waiting for you. I'll be there too.